Right, so time to glue this door. But second-hand stuff. After we put the door in, I had to cut a lot of it off because the floor came up a lot. You can see it would fit perfectly in the inside, but if you're going to hang it, it becomes a problem. So right now, as it is, the hole would be right in the middle of this, right there where the door frame joins the wall, and that's not good to have any kind of bearing, any load. So I want to have this, either I can put this down here so it's mounted in the wood, but then I have to cut more off, and then we're going to be a gap across the top of the door between the door and the frame. There's be a gap here. Or I put this up here, right? So I can mount into the good wall, but then there's going to be a gap this much to the bottom down here. Okay, so imagine that piece is longer, so like this, but all the way along, right? So that gets rid of that problem, which means it mounts higher. Second problem is, if the door covers the frame on this side, you'll see whoever's sitting in the bathroom, there's going to be a gap here like that, right? So then I'm going to have to mount another piece of wood all the way down, which is big enough to go to there. So like this piece. So a piece of wood on here, and a piece of wood on the bottom, and then it's going to go. That's the plan. I've cut 2 bits of wood. So this just goes on the top, like that, and then one on the bottom. And for the sides, I have 2 of these. These are quite thick. These are 3.5. So these are 3.5. I'm gonna have to plane them down to 2.5. And inside the box is another box. Now, which way does this go? Whoa! A planer. Oh, that's for sharpening the blades. You go in here and you get a sharpened stone, and you can go. It comes with the blades installed, and they feel nice and sharp. Next time you see me with this in my hands, I'll be doing that. Hi, May. Hi. That's a good for you. That's how much has to come off. That's 2.5, a little bit more than this. So it has to come down to here, and then I'll put it on the door, and then I'll do it again when it's on the door to trim it to the door. Look at that. That's what it looked like before. Before. After. To make a bigger hole, and that goes into like here, which means this screw is going to go all the way into there. And that comes to here. So I'm just going to put them on with 3 screws, make sure everything is right, and then I plane here. This is sticking out. You have to plane this to the same level as that. that is the plan. Okay, so I've converted this into a language which I speak, which is centimeters. I've made a line here, so it's going to come to here, but this is the level of the center of the screws. So I've made a line along there, a level. Yeah. Okay. That is my first one. Wunderbar. It's going to be a bit tricky. Maybe if I tighten this up a little bit, that'll hold it in place. Yeah, that would work. I have to put that like this, and then with this behind here, and then put that through. And I cannot do that with two hands. So Fawn, who is filming, is going to hold it for me, and then I'll just show you the result later. So these have to be fitted onto the door, and then the door will hang like this. And go slidey, 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 slidey. I can feel this one's not level. This I can feel there's a little bump here that I can just push it. And then it's going to be like a stopper goes on here. Job done. I had to change these bolts because the other ones were built for a much bigger door, so these are a little bit shorter. But get the idea. Put a stopper on here. So next job is going to be this, and that, and that. Well, looks nice, I think. Job done.